Alrighty, welcome everybody. It is our craft along, so I'm so excited. So it's our Wednesday night live craft along, and this is the one where some of you bought kits ahead of time, and some of you kind of wanted to wait and see what this looked like, and then if you still want the card kits, you can still get them. You don't get all the goodies along with it. You only get that when you purchase the kit. But you can still get the card kits if you place a $40 order with me. So we are working with the Iconic Celebration Suite. This is an online suite. So if you guys haven't seen it in the catalog, that's why, because it's only online. So you have to go online to see the suite. But I'm fixing to show you the suite really quick. Then we're going to go over some housekeeping, or let's do the housekeeping first. Let everybody get on here, and then we will get started. All right, guys. So July hostess code, there it is. So if you're placing an order with me that is below $150, you're going to want to use that hostess code. Now we have a lot of specials going on. Because Stampin' Up! Had some glitches yesterday, they actually extended the free shipping. So if you guys see something you like tonight's the time to buy it because it is free shipping. Plus, we've got some other specials going on that we'll talk about. Anyway, you can order through me at juliebrown.stampinup.net. My email is juliescreativestampin without the G at gmail.com. Facebook, you guys are either watching me on Facebook or YouTube. Facebook is Julie's Creative Stamping. YouTube, you have to put in juliebrown.Julie's Creative Stamping, and then there is my blog, which is basically a website. So make sure you check out that website because I have a lot of great information over there, along with some of the cards from last year's Christmas and stuff is on there. And so you guys can check that out as well. So let's talk about some of the specials that are coming up. Not even coming up, but so right now during July, for every $50 that you spend, you get a $5 coupon to use in August. So just realize we're down to the last, can you believe we're down to the last week in July? I can't believe it. So that is, so any orders that you place that total $50 or more, you'll get a $5 coupon. So for instance, if you place a $100 order, it would be, you get two $5 coupons. Those coupons are sent to you via email, so don't lose those codes. So let's look at what I have coming up. So next month, the August craft along is going to be the Mediterranean blooms. And like I've said, guys, there's two ways that you can do this. You can either sign up. You do need to be signed up by August 13th. And you can click on, or you can take a picture of that QR code. It'll take you to the sign up page, the event page. And if you sign up there, and you pay the $42 fee, you get a lot of goodies along with this, so that you can make more than just the card kits. The second way you can do it is for any time in August. If you place a $40 order or more, you will get just the card kits, not all the goodies that go along with it. So you have to decide, do I want the goodies, or do I just want to purchase something else and get the card kits? But just make sure, it's best if you can get those. Even if you're going to place the order, it's best if you get the order in before August 13th. That way I can get the card kits to you, and you can craft along with me like those that did that for tonight. The next thing is my class to go. So my class to go is going to be the Wildly Flowering Suite, and so I have made a lot of really fun cards with this one. Again, this one is also $42, but this one's a little bit different. The class to go does get shipped out. I think it's like the second week of August, and then you have you'll get the free PDFs with it, and then you'll also get the link to the video. And so the video is a private video. Nobody else gets it. I don't ever do it on my lives. And you will get to just sit at whenever it works for you. You can pull out your kit that you get sent. You can sit down and follow step by step with me on my video that you can pause, so that if I'm going too fast, you can pause it. So that is the class to go. So those are the two big things that are coming up. And I didn't put the one thing on here that's, I thought I had it on here, but I don't. I also have an in-person bingo going on. That's going to be either Thursday, August 22nd, or Saturday, August 24th. and I have to have at least 6 in each class to be able to do it. But if you guys want that, get your space reserved for that, so that I can get everything ordered ahead of time. So that you do need to get your RSVPs in for that as quickly as possible. So what we do at the bingo is we basically play a bingo game. We have a winner. You get to win some of the new stuff that's going to be coming out in the mini catalog. Woohoo! So you'll be able to win some of that stuff, and then we make cards in between the games. So you end up with 6 cards, and then hopefully you'll win a bingo. And then the grand prize gets a pretty special prize for the grand prize, which is the blackout, which we do at the end. Okay, so there's that information. And then if you guys are interested in what's going on with Stampin' Up, you can always, again, just click on this, do this QR code, and it allows you to put in your email address and join my monthly newsletter. And then you'll be getting all the information of all of the different online and in-person classes that I do. Okay, I had to talk really fast to get through all that stuff because there's so much going on. Okay, so let's talk about the suite. Again, this is the Iconic Celebration Suite. It is an online suite, so you will not see it in your catalog, so just be aware of that. So let's look at what all is in this. So it has tons of paper. And what I like about this is this paper isn't just for Christmas. Look, we've got some New Year's toasting paper. We even got some that you could use for Valentine's. We have autumn paper in here. And so yeah, and then we have like birthday paper in here. We have that could even be 4th of July or New Year's. And again, this is just a really nice variety of paper. And you're going to get a lot of use out of this. So that's the Designer Series paper. Then it comes with this white frayed ribbon, which is really fun to work with. We're going to be working with that tonight. Then it has, and I don't know if you guys can see this, but inside of these, can you guys see there's like a ribbon, there's like a swirl inside of these embellishments. They're really fun. And so that's part of the suite. And then of course the bundle. And so the bundle you can buy separate, and there's that number right there. And so it does have the stamp set and the dies with the bundle. Okay, so again, if you want the whole suite, there's the number. If you're just looking at possibly the bundle, then there's the number there. Okay, and of course everything can be bought separately, guys. You don't have to buy it as a suite. Stampin' Up! Just does that to help you guys out. So that you only have to put one number in to get everything. Okay, we got 4 cards to do, so we are going to get busy tonight. All right, so for those of you that got the kit, go ahead and pull out, it's card number 1. So if you're looking at the PDF, it's card number 1. Now, I am going to follow the PDF. And for those of you that are just coming in and joining me, this is going to be a long video because I am doing step-by-step instructions with this card. Now, here's the deal. If you guys didn't get the kit, you don't have the card kits, but you like what I'm doing, you can still craft along with me. Okay, so you're going to need a card base, you're going to need some basic white, and then you're going to need a Christmas stamp set. And possibly some dies. I mean, I do have some specialty kind of things that I did with this, but again, you can watch this tonight. If you like it, you can go find a set that matches it, come back, watch it again, and craft along with me. Maybe not live, but you can watch it again. Also, don't forget, you guys can put comments in. You can ask questions if you're watching me live. So I am on live with both YouTube and Facebook right now. So you can type in questions, and you can also just say hello and let me know you're here. All right, let's get the first card going. So on the first card, we needed a card base, and I'm using Misty Moonlight, obviously because I'm using the Designer Series paper, and then we needed another color. I used Cherry Cobbler of a 4 by 5 1/4, and then we've got another. I forget what this one is. I think it is like a, oh my goodness, I don't even remember what size. Oh, 4 by 5 1/4. I'm losing it. And then we have a bunch of strips. And so we're going to talk about those in a second. But first we're going to do our stamping, okay? And so we're going to start with Cherry Cobbler ink. and we're going to stamp our sentiment onto this 4 by 5 1/4. Oh, and I forgot I used the sentiments, and I don't think I have that over here, so hold on. I thought I had everything. Yeah. So the other online suite, so this one is called Greetings of the Season, and so I'm going to use this sentiment. Again, guys, most of us have plenty of sentiments, right, for Christmas, so you don't have to purchase those, but you can, and even if you got, even if you got my kit, you may not have this specific stamp. That's okay. Just pick a sentiment that you like and pick some cherry cobbler ink, and let's get that stamped. So I'm just going to ink that up. And we are going to stamp that up here like so. And then we're going to clean that off with our chamois. Hopefully my chamois, I didn't check to see if they were nice and wet before I started. Alrighty, so the next thing it tells us to do is using the Misty Moonlight ink. We're going to stamp some of the leaves from that stamp set down here at the bottom. And I can already tell you I didn't grab all of them out now that I'm looking at this. Oh, yes, I did. I did. I'm okay. Oh, I'm telling you. So I do a lot of second generation stamping, and what that means is that let's say that you don't have a lot of ink pads. This second generation stamping is the perfect way for you to be able to get more use out of one color of ink. So what I'm going to do is I am going to ink this up, and it's going to be full. When I say full ink, that means I'm doing it without stamping it off. So there we've got the full ink. Now what I'm going to do is, this is called two-step stamping. These stamps are 2 steps because you have a detailed one and you have a solid. Now on my solid one, I'm going to ink it up with the Misty Moonlight, but I am going to stamp off first before I stamp it onto the card. And this just gives me a different shade of that Misty Moonlight. So this is a really good way to get multiple use out of one ink pad. So it looks like I did 2 different colors. It was the exact same color. The only thing that I did was that I stamped off before I stamped it on. So that made it a lighter shade. All right. I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to put everything so I can find it when I need it. Okay, so I think that's all we had to do for the stamping, believe it or not, on this one. The next thing that we have to do is we are going to be cutting out, I did bring in the Spotlight on Nature dies for this, and I did this ahead of time. I also brought in, and I'm going to show you the dies, but I already have these cut out. And the dies that I used are the mini alphabet dies, and you guys can see here's the item number right here. And it cuts them all out at once. You can do strips and cut just a few of them out, but I go ahead and I put like a large piece of cherry cobbler on here, and I cut all these out. I pulled out these letters, and then I have a little bag that I have the rest of my letters in that has a label that says cherry cobbler. So the nice thing is the next time I need some letters, unless it's some of these that I've already used, I've got a whole bag of cherry cobbler letters. So I'm actually really, I wasn't sure I was going to like this because you had to cut it all out at once, but now I'm loving it because it's really easy prep for me. Okay. So we're going to bring in that Spotlight on Nature die. And we're going to be using the smallest one here. And you guys know that I number mine one, but like with this one, there was like different patterns. And so the smallest one is 1 of that pattern. The next one is 2, 3, 4. All right, so let's move over to the die cut machine, and we're going to cut 4 of these out. So let's switch it up. And I apologize for the glare. I was hoping I wasn't going to have a glare, but I have a glare. So we're just going to run this through, and we're going to have to run it through 4 times because we need 4 of these. So again, if you're crafting along with me and you don't have this specific die set, then you'll want to find a die set that you have that has some small circles like this. So guys, anything that I make, you guys have to consider, it's a sketch. I'm showing you a sketch. And so, again, if you just want to, you know, craft along with me using your own stuff, please do so. And I know I don't really give you guys a lot of heads up because it's supposed to kind of be a surprise, except for those that have the kit. You guys that have the kits. Now, these are probably already, these were already cut out for you in the kits. I'm just doing a step-by-step for those that, that maybe didn't get a kit, but they're still wanting to make these cards. So please be patient with us. But what you guys can be doing is, once I get these circles out, I'm going to take a sponge dauber and my Misty Moonlight ink, and I'm going to, what we call chalking, I'm going to chalk the edges. So if you guys who already have the kit want to start that, you are more than welcome to start that. All right, so let's get back over here. Oh, I was like, where did I put that die set? Okay, so what I'm talking about is, I come from the world of scrapbooking, people, and in scrapbooking, we do a lot of chalking. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of tip in there, and then I'm just going to put a little bit, this is what we call chalking the edges. And what this does is it allows this to pop up off your page a little bit. So this is where I was saying if you guys want to go ahead and chalk those edges, then you're more than welcome to do so. And again, if you don't have the Spotlight on Nature dies and you want to make this card, then just find, you might have a circle punch that's small, and maybe you're not going to have the decorative edge, but as soon as you start chalking it, it makes it pop. So it won't even matter that it doesn't have this crimped edge. Okay, so I'm just going around those edges and we're chalking. Don't forget, guys, if you're on with me, don't forget to say hi. Let me know you're here so that I'm not feeling, you know, lonely. Now, I could have put a silicone sheet on the back of this when I did the, cut these out. I did not do it for these because they're pretty easy to get glue on. So I'm just going to, now we're going to take these and we're going to stick one of these in the middle of each of these little circles. Okay, so you're going to take each of your letters. Your letters, again, if you got the kit, if you got the card kit, all the die cutting is done for you if you guys get the card kit. And to get just the card kit, you just placed a $40 order this month with me. If you signed up for the class, then you got a lot more stuff. But again, all of the dies are already cut out. The only thing I can't do for you ahead of time, per Stampin' Up! Rules, is we're not allowed to stamp any of the images for you. So that's why I always tell you guys, it's okay if you don't, you know, want to get the stamp set that I'm using. But if you have a stamp set that you like, then you're just going to go grab that. All right. So now we've got all of our letters on our circles. And now what we're going to do is I brought in an oldie but goodie. It's been one of my favorite embossing folders. And I know if you guys don't already have it, and I apologize, you can't get it. But you know, part of this craft along, guys, is showing you that I also am going to be using some of my stuff that's retired, because you know, it's all about combining new with the old, right? When we buy new things, what do we have that can go with it? So I have this really cool, let's get back over to the die cut machine. I have this really cool embossing folder, hopefully here. My granddaughter used it earlier, and I hope she put it back. She didn't. Hold on, let me go grab it. she saw me use this and she really fell in love with it. Okay, so this was our Merry Melody 3D embossing folder, and it's, gosh, it's pretty old. It's a maybe it's not as old as I think. I think it's pretty old, but it's probably not. It probably only came out a couple years ago. But I just love this for Christmas cards because I just think it just gives that extra festiveness that we're always looking for in our Christmas cards. So I'm just, and again, it's a 3D folder, so I use the base, I put it in the folder, and then I use this gray number 4 plate. So we're gonna roll that through. And pull that out. Yeah, this is my oldie but goodie embossing folder. But again, you know, you guys need to think about what you have in stock that you can use, especially when it comes time for Christmas cards. So how fun is this? Let's get it back over here. Can you guys see that? Isn't that so cool? So pretty. Okay, so then what we're gonna do, I think we're ready to actually put this card together, believe it or not. This one actually goes together pretty quickly. I'll tell you what, guys, having die cuts is, for me, the best easy button that I've ever come across. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put this on the front of our card base, and you can either use liquid glue, which that's what I normally use, but I don't have one of my big, I only have in, I keep my glue in this little because the little tip, I put my green glue in here, and so it's a little bit harder for me to use it on this big of a piece of paper. But I do prefer green glue when I am putting something that I have embossed onto something, because it gets down in the cracks and the crevices and it gets a really good hold. Now the Stampin' Seal Plus also holds things really well. Okay, so there's that. So now what we want to do is, in your kit, you guys had these strips. So you had 4 of the white ones, and then this is part of that designer series paper. So basically we're just going to attach all of these to what I call their mats, because this is what backs them basically. And again, why do I mat things? I mat things because, again, if you give something a border, 1, it gives your card some dimension, and 2, it makes it pop a little bit better. So that's why you see me doing matting when I do matting. That is the whole reason that I do it. Okay. So we're just going to lay these down, and I'm just trying to center it on each of these. Now I will say that when I cut this specific designer series paper, I did have to do, like, it didn't, because of the size that I made it, which was 3/4, I had to like cut little pieces off between each of these to make this fit. So if you guys do get this designer series paper and you're like, how the heck did she get that to cut so perfectly? It was because I did have to cut little edges off so that it the dove fit in that 3/4 frame, if that makes sense. Alrighty, so here we go. Okay, so now we're ready to put these on our card front. Now you guys always hear me say this, I do dry runs, and what that means is that I'm gonna like take this and I'm gonna see, like, I want this to overlap, but I also want it to, you know, fit here. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do like a dry run where I kind of set all this down so that I can kind of get my spacing also figured out. And then I'm gonna kind of stick these on here to see, and I know I'm like moving everything. I just want to make sure that my circles don't overlap each other. Okay. I'm trying to decide if I did pop those up. Okay. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of use that as my guide right there. And this is the first one that's going down. I've got something sticky on here that my cardstock's trying to stick to. Okay, so I'm basically just going to kind of lay this down, and I'm kind of looking at that bottom and this right edge. And I am telling you guys, it is really hard for me to get things straight when I am not right over the top of it. So bear with me if it comes out a little cattywampus, because I can get it right in front of me and bend over, make sure that it is perfectly straight. But when you're doing this and you're videotaping it for everybody, you can't always do that. And so it's a little bit harder to get things lined up when you can't lean straight over. You know, you guys know what I'm talking about. You bring your cards pretty close to you when you're working on them, kind of like I just shifted that down. And I'm not able to do that when I'm doing on the camera. Or all you guys would see is my head, and I don't think that's what you guys want to see. All right. So here is our next one. So I hope you guys, those of you that got the kits, I hope you guys like them. I had a lot of fun with this set. I just thought it was a kind of a unique, fun set. Okay. So now I did use my mini dimensionals to pop up the wording on the front. And believe it or not, as small as this is, I used 4 of these on each of these letter circles. Okay, so here's the N. And I hope I'm getting that straight. Oh, the pressure, the pressure. Is it straight? All right, so then we're gonna grab the next one. So while we're doing this, for those of you that are not crafting it along, that are just watching, again, if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to type them into the comments. I would love to hear from you. All right, so here's our next one. Oh, I've got it. Sorry, guys. I've got to kind of pick it up so I can see if I'm getting it somewhat straight. So I got to tell you guys something funny. So my granddaughter was cutting out some of these letters for me, and I told her, I said, I need you to spell Noel, and she cut them out, and the way that they laid out, they spelled Noel. And she's like, Grandma, it didn't spell Noel, it spelled Nole, N-O-L-E. And I said, honey, just move the letters around. Oh my gosh, Grandma, you're using your big brain. She calls it my big brain when I solve issues for her. So that's a fun thing for all of us. We can now, when we accomplish something and we figure something out, that's us using our big brains. So I just love that she's always telling me that. Oh, Grandma, you used your big brain. That was really good. It's amazing what comes out of their mouths sometimes, isn't it? It's usually a nice surprise. Okay, so there's the N-O-E-L. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the inside in, and then we're going to do the embellishments on this one. So again, I'm just using my Stampin' Seal Plus. I've got a couple cards that are going to take just a little bit tonight, so I'm trying to go through this fairly quickly. But again, those of you that got the kits, most of this stuff should have been cut out for you. You're basically doing the stamping with me, but you already, you know, all of this was die cut for you, and this was embossed for you. Okay, so then we're going to bring in these really fun jewels. If I can get them open. I really like the look of these. I think they're just so much fun with that little, whatever it is. I think they call it kind of a, I think they called it ribbon something. So they're considering that kind of a ribbon on the inside of these. Okay, so then I'm just going to go through and I am just going to pick, you know, some of these. And remember, guys, we always want to try to do like odd numbers. And so when we're doing this, we want to make sure that we're, so you're not putting like 4 on. You want to either put like 1, 3, 5, 7, however that works for you. And then we'll put this one right there. And then we'll bring another big one in here. And we'll stick that one down here. All right, so that is card number 1. What do you guys think? Isn't that fun? So it just says Noel, and then on the inside, it's the most wonderful time of the year, and then it has the little branch down here. Fun! Okay, so give me a hot second while I grab the next pile of things that I'm going to need. I think I'm just going to leave all my instructions. I'm trying to follow my instructions so that I do it exactly the way that I'm telling you to do it. Okay, so this next one is going to be a gift card holder. Oh, you know what? I think I forgot to get my, that's all right. I've got another punch I can use. Okay, so this one's going to be a gift card holder, which is always good for Christmas time, right? And so the way that this one is going to work is that it's got all of these fun pieces. And again, if you get the PDFs, you're going to get all the sizes and everything for this. So let's just kind of start working with my instructions. So we're starting at instructions. So all of you that have these pieces, have the PDF, we're going to be stamping first, okay? And so the first thing that it tells us to do is using Misty Moonlight, stamp the following. Using the iconic imagery stamp the snowflakes across the 3/4 inch strip. That's this one. Now these snowflakes are a little bit bigger than this strip, but that's okay. We're still gonna, I mean, they can, if you're careful, you can fit them exactly. So I'm just gonna ink that up. And then I'm just gonna start on this end. And we're just going to add some of these snowflakes all the way across. Even though we're gonna be covering up this right side quite a bit, I'm still gonna just stamp them all the way across. And you can tell I wasn't even, like, this one was a little bit lower, but that's okay because that one's gonna be hidden. So again, when I'm stamping just me at home, I go a lot slower than I go on the videos. Okay, so the next thing that it tells us to do is, oh, I guess I should have kept that ink. So then it also tells us to stamp a snowflake on the bottom right. Now, this card is going to be horizontal, and so our sentiments are going to be here. So this is, so it's going to be, you know, this way. So apparently I want to stamp another snowflake. And I'm not going to stamp the whole thing. I'm just going to kind of stamp a little bit of it right there. And then it tells us, so if you have this stamp set, this for you are 2 separate stamps. So you have to take the time to put these 2 together. And so now we need our little 2x2 piece. And we're going to ink up the for you. And that's going to go right in the middle. Like that. Okay. And then I brought in the Trucking Along. And the reason I'm doing, you guys, the reason I'm using some other stamp sets is because I want you guys to understand that you can bring in other stamp sets. If you don't have these, you could bring in other stamp sets and use them to do your cards. So like instead of for you, I could have put this special delivery if the trucking along stamp was what I had. But what do I want from this one? Wishing you a Merry Christmas. Okay. So let's pull another block out. And we are going to stamp that. And you guys have heard me say it a million times. If you can line up the paper that you're stamping onto and you can get that nice and straight, then the chances of you getting a straight, your sentiment stamp straight is probably up by like, you have a like 90% chance of that stamping straight. So there you go. Okay, so I wanted that to say wishing you a festive Christmas. So I'm just going to clean that off. I'm going to leave this over here because I may have used that again. I can't remember. Okay, so let's, so that's all for the stamping. So we're going to close up these. And die cutting. So again, I'm using that Spotlight on Nature dies. Again, I just use these dies because they're circles and they're pretty. And so that's what I decided to do. So I'm going to use my number 1 floral. And that's going to cut this out. And then you guys should have another little square. And then don't forget, everyone, when people come to my class, they're like, I can't find the number 2. Don't forget there's 2 sets of these in here. And then this one is going to cut that out. So let's move over to our die cut machine and let's get this done. You guys are quiet tonight. All right. So we're going to use the number 1 base, the number 2, and then the 2 number 3 plates. You always need 1 number 3 plate on the bottom, and you need 1 on the top. So I don't really have to tape this one in place because I'm not trying to go around like a stamped image or anything. Anytime I've stamped something, I usually will tape the die in place just so that it doesn't move when I'm going through, and that because I don't want to have to, you know, go re-stamp it because it didn't do it right. Okay, so there's that die cutting. Let's move back over here and let's get these out of here. Now you'll want to make sure that you clean these dies. I'm not going to take the time to do it right this second. That's one of the things I do at the end of each of my classes is I actually go back and clean all the dies so that they're ready for the next class. Okay, I'm gonna lay these back here because I think we might be using these again. All right, so there's our die cutting. So now we're ready to assemble. Woohoo! We've stamped and we've die cut. Okay, so this card's a little bit different. Oh, the one thing, okay, I'll take care of this in a second. So this one, the card base is actually just these 2 pieces right here, because the part that's in the middle is the part that's actually going to be the part of the card that opens. And it's so funny when I sell these at my craft sale, people have a hard time figuring them out because they're like, oh, so it just opens like that. And I'm like, yeah, so this is just because remember, this is a gift card. All right, so we are going to put the Designer Series paper onto our card base. So I've got it thinner up here than I do down here, but that's okay. I can live with that. Okay, and then we have this other piece here that we are going to fold. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and build this whole thing up, and then we're going to put it on the card front. So we're going to put this other piece of, your other piece of Designer Series paper goes on the front flap of this one. So this is still part of the front of the card. Okay, so whether you're using liquid glue, stamp and seal, whatever you're using, use that. All right. Now, for those of you that are watching me on YouTube, I did find out recently that sometimes if you do not have a Google account, it may not let you put comments in, and I do apologize for that if you're trying to put in comments, and because I'm not seeing comments come up. So, but I did have someone on one of my last videos that I did that said, you know, I was trying to talk to you, and and it was a friend of mine, and it's like, and you didn't see me there, and so it was because she didn't have a Google account. You know, I learn stuff all the time with all of this online stuff. Okay, so this is the front. So now we're going to turn it this way, and we're going to put our "Wishing You a Festive Christmas" on this right side over here. Again, I'm just using my Stampin' Seal Plus. And then this is just going to go right here. And then we're going to take this piece, and it's going to go over here. And then I'm going to bring it, now it's a circle. You can use a circle punch. I think I'm going to use the modern oval punch. I'm going to show you how to use that if that's what you have. Because you want to put a little notch on this other piece that we're fixing to put on here, just so that it's easy for them to pull the card out. So let me grab that. So I'm just going to take my modern oval punch. You can have a circle punch, and basically I am just going to oh, this one might not work because I can't get it. Oh, actually, I can do the notch this way. So it's going to be kind of a bigger notch. That's okay. I wanted this side, but that wasn't working. So now we're going to go with this side. Basically, you just need to have something that will punch a little notch out. So there's the notch. Okay, and then I usually use tear and tape for this, because anytime you're putting something in, like a, you know, like a gift card, they tend to be a little bit heavy, and you don't want it to tear the paper away. So I usually will do tear and tape here, like you're seeing me do. Oh, come on. You can tear better than that. Okay. And that just means it's gonna, you know, it's gonna have a nice secure hold. And then I'm gonna, you know, take my bone folder, and we're gonna burnish. You guys are gonna hear me say burnish a lot. Burnish is just, it's kind of reinforcing. So like in this case, I am reinforcing that tape goes down. When I burnish these edges here, I'm reinforcing that crease. Okay. All right. So let's pull this. And I think even in your instructions, I may have flipped these two. So again, you just do it the way that you want it. My first one, I had the sentiment over here, and the gift card holder over there. So I'm switching it up tonight. Okay, so that's going to go like that. And then obviously if you had like a, you know, something can fit, whether it's money, it will fit right down in that little pocket. Okay, so now we're ready to put this on the front. Now, you can use Stampin' Seal, I mean, you can use tear and tape, but Stampin' Seal Plus is pretty stout, guys. So I'm just gonna use the Stampin' Seal Plus. If you don't have Stampin' Seal Plus, I am going to suggest that you do tear and tape for this. So either Stampin' Seal Plus or tear and tape. And you'll notice I'm doing a lot more than I normally do. So then I'm just going to close this, and I'm going to try to not like set it down yet, because I want to get it as centered as I can. And then I'm still not touching it like all the way, but that looks good. So now I feel comfortable pressing that down. Okay, so to decorate the front of this card, we're going to take this strip here, And it's just going to run the length of the designer series paper right in the middle. So again, we're just going to add our Stampin' Seal. And I'm just going to kind of turn this so that I can kind of make sure it's on this edge and it's centered and it's looking good. And then I'm just going to kind of lay that. Again, I'm not pushing this down real hard just yet because I want to make sure I have it straight before I do that. Okay, now I can push down hard. Okay, and then we're just going to take the For You and we're going to put that on the middle of that one. Do always make sure that all of your little pieces came out from the die cut. All right, so now I'm just adding some glue here. We're gonna flip that over. It's gonna go right here. And this is all, guys, all of this designer series paper that I'm using is part of that suite. It's just, I really like this paper. It's very versatile. You can combine it with other stamp sets that you have. It's really good. And then I just decided not to pop it up. You could pop this up if you wanted to. I did not feel the need to pop this up, mainly because usually if I'm sending a gift card, it's going to be in the mail. And so I want to put the least amount of dimension on anything that I'm putting in the mail, even though I'm fixing to put some embellishments on here because, you know, I can't help myself there. Okay, so then we're going to put that For You right there. And then again, we're going to bring in some of these really fun ribbon embellishments. And I'm just going to stick one there. Let's see, one down here, and then I think I'll put a little one up here. You guys notice I'm always trying to do kind of a diagonal, just because it's pleasing to the eyes. Okay, so this is card 2. What do you think? Isn't this a fun gift card? And then you just put your gift card right over here in this pocket. How fun is that? Okay, we are on to card 3. If I can remember which one card 3 is. Okay, let's see. Card 3. Okay, sorry, I got some of my cards mixed up over here. All right, let me pull card 3 over here. I'm going to pull the instructions over. This is the one that's going to take just a little bit because it's called a shadow card. And because of this, there's some die cutting and then some outlining that we need to do. Okay, again, in your kit, guys, and I'm sorry, I didn't do that in the first 2 cards, but in this kit, you should have a cherry cobbler base. You should have this designer series paper. You should have one white that's a little bit bigger than normal. And then you should have one that's the normal 4 by 5 1/4. And then you should have this red strip with some adhesive on the back. Or actually, this was already cut out for you, so just ignore this part. But then you'll have these 2 pieces. This part has not been done for you, okay? Okay, so that's what you should have in that kit. And I apologize for not going over those other 2 kits with you. That was bad on me. Okay, so now we are ready to do some stamping. And the first thing that we want to do, most of our stamping on this one is going to be on this big white piece and then inside our card. So again, I am bringing in one of the sayings from the Greetings of Season. We're going to do this, may your holiday season be filled with warmth and cheer. Both of these are online. This was the Season of Green and Gold suite. And that was my class to go for this month. Sorry. I did a really fun fold card with this one. Okay, so we're going to bring in our pecan pie ink. We're going to do a lot more stamping on this card than we have on the other ones. So, oh, that's coming loose. Okay, sorry. I'm going to show you guys a little trick. What happens is our blocks, as we start to work with our blocks, we touch them a lot, and then when we're pulling up our stamps, we touch the back of our stamps. So I'm going to show you if this happens. Hold on one second. You just want to bring in some alcohol and a little, like, you know, these face pad things. And I'm just going to put a little bit of alcohol on this. And this is going to take just a hot second. And then I'm just going to clean the back of this off. And you might even want to clean your block because it's probably gotten some oil from us, is usually what happens. So I've got to let those two things dry just a bit. I think while I'm doing that, I wonder if I could stamp some of the other stuff. Oh, let's see. Yeah, I think actually, oh, it's already ready. It's already dry. It doesn't take that long to dry it. But now, this is going to stick 10 times better onto that block. So if you ever have, and that mainly happens with your clear photo polymer stamps. Sorry, try to get everything out of the way so I don't accidentally get ink on something I don't want to. Okay, so let's try to get that centered. Woohoo! I always get excited when I do it right. Okay, so there we go. All right. And then I think I'm done with the pecan pie. So now we need Mossy Meadow ink. So if you're following along with the directions with me, and sorry guys, I gotta run get that ink. It's in a kit for tomorrow. I apologize for that. I've got a paper pumpkin alternative class going on tomorrow, and so I had already pulled this ink. So we are going to put something here, but it's actually going to be a die cut. So now we're going to bring in this bigger piece of white, and we are going to stamp, and we're going to do that same thing. We're going to do that second generation stamping, okay? So I am going to be stamping basically several of these leaves. And remember, we want the detailed ones to be dark, and then when we bring in this other one, the solid image, we're going to be stamping off. So let's see, 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 5, 6. Did I say how many to stamp? Stamp 8. Okay, so there's 2, 4, 6. So we're going to stamp 8 of these onto this page. If I would just read my directions, I'd know what the heck I'm doing, right? It's like, come on now. So let's clean that. So I hope you guys have been enjoying my class to go was a Christmas in July, and I wanted to do a craft along Christmas in July. I know some of us aren't ready for Christmas yet, but you know, some of us wanted to get a jump on our Christmas cards, so I thought I would do this craft along with you. So notice again, I'm inking up, stamping off, and then I always, when I do this, I find a point at the bottom to where I can line it up and then just lay it down. This is the one time I will tell you to rock your stamp, because I just get it lined up and then I just rock it down into place. Okay, so let's, and I don't want you guys to get into a big hurry here, okay? Remember, even though I'm live right now, you can come back and watch this video later and you can pause it any place where you kind of fell behind a little bit. Okay, so we're almost done with these. Whoa. Oh, I almost did that full ink. I caught myself. Okay, stamp off one more time. All right. So isn't that cool how you can have the same ink, but as you can see, by stamping off, it gives you 2 different shades of that same ink. So that's like, because I know, guys, when you're starting out with stamping, a lot of times you're like, oh my gosh, I just, you know, the investment seems like a lot because there's so many different, especially if you do Stampin' Up, because we have different families. And so I always tell everybody, you know, just pick a family that you like, and then you just do the stamp off method so that it feels like you have 2 inks instead of 1. Okay. Okay, so now we're using Cherry Cobbler ink, and now we're going to do 2 of these detailed berries onto this as well. Okay, so these berries, so they're itty bitty, and so we're going to do the detailed first. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp 2 of these detailed berries, and then I'm going to come in with the solid, and again I'm going to stamp off first, and then get that lined up and lay that down on there. And again, same thing, it kind of gives us 2 different colors of our Cherry Cobbler ink. Okay, so there's those. All right, and again, this is called second generation. Anytime that you stamp off, it's the second generation. And sometimes you'll hear me, or you'll see in my directions where I say third generation. And all that means is that once you've stamped off, then you stamp again for the third generation. All right, so let's get those out of here. Okay, see where we're at. Okay, so we're ready for the die cut. Okay, so let's set all this to the side for a second. This is the hardest part right here. And I'm actually going to bring my tray in because we're going to be kind of taping this in place. Now, I did use an alphabet that is retired. It is called the Playful Alphabet to do this. And that's because the mini alphabet would have been great, except I needed it to have separate letters. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to spell Christmas, and I want it to be at an angle down here. So you can draw lines if you need to draw lines. You're more than welcome to do that. Or you can just kind of do what I do and lay it down. And I'm going to have to like put these a lot closer to each other. I already know that. But I'm just trying to get my dry run done here to see, like, because I don't think I'm getting quite the right angle just yet. This takes a little bit of time. So again, if you guys have the kits and you're working along with me, don't get frustrated. Just pause and get this all, well, that was a hot mess, and get everything the way that you want it on here. Okay, so now I'm going to kind of work my way back and see if I can get this in a straight line. These 2 are wanting, oh, stop it. See, that's why you get frustrated with this, is because as soon as you think you have everything kind of in place, one of these little suckers will move and it messes up the whole thing. So I've got to stand up so that I can kind of look at this and see if I think that that is straight. It's not really straight. And like I said, this takes a little bit of finagling, and then trying to get this taped in place is also another fun aspect. Okay, So I think that looks fairly good. It may not be perfect. So then what you want to do is, and this is the hardest part because it all tries to move when you do this. I'm just going to take a long piece of, you know what, I don't think that's going to work very good. I think I'll just do it like on one side. See how it moved? This is what I'm talking about, but we're gonna do this together, and we're gonna get this figured out. So it actually might be easier instead of doing what I just tried to do. I was trying to cheat the process. All right, I'm gonna stick that there. Is maybe just tie, you know, just tape down each letter on its own. Okay, so I know that S is kind of catty-wonkus. Let's fix that. It's not quite the way I want it. I'm trying not to be like too, oh gosh, and then of course I do that. Just shoot me. So I'm actually going to tear this in half so that I have smaller pieces. All right. And then I'm just going to tear. So I like where my C is, so I'm going to tape that down. And I'm okay with my H. So I'm going to tape that down. I'm okay with the R, so I'm going to tape that down. The I was the one that was kind of bugging me a second ago. And I think that M's a little too high, the A's a little too high, and the S. Okay. Okay, this is going to be, I'm going to do this S first. I'm going to do everything but that I first because the I tends to be the one that I have the hardest trouble with. Don't know why, but I do. All right, let me grab a little bit more of that Post-it tape. And this is why I said this one can be a little bit challenging. For those of you guys that got the kits, I already did this for you. And I hope I cut it in a manner that you're happy with. But I did do that cutting for you because I just didn't want, I didn't want you to have to go try to find a die set that was going to fit this. Okay. Woo! Okay, so now we've got that in there. And again, this is shadow, right? So let's go over to our die cut machine. And we're just going to put this on the top of that. We still got to be careful even though that is all taped in place. Then we are going to run that through the die cut machine. Okay. Now I'm just going to lift this up and bring it, but not really, because most of the letters are right here. Okay. So now I can take all these pieces off and put them back where they go. So I'm just going to do that real carefully. And again, guys, I apologize that you're having to watch the entire step of this, but I did want to show you guys. So for those of you that that may have already had this, all of this stuff, and you didn't want to buy a kit, and you're done spending money for the month, I understand that, but you really do like this card. I wanted to show you how I did this. And I'm not even putting these letters back correctly right now. I'm just trying to get them off of here. Which one are we missing? The M. The M is the only one that didn't stay. Oh, I was like, where'd it go? Okay. So I'm just kind of throwing them on my magnetic plate over here. And then before I put this away, I will get it all reorganized. Okay, so you're going to take this piece and just kind of set that to the side. And we're going to work with these letters. Let me move this die cut, or these dies. Okay, this is where it becomes a little bit tedious, because when you go to put these back on, they blend in. So one of the things I will tell you is you need to keep any of the similar, so the S's, we need to keep the S's in the right place, because it patterns, it has to go back into the right pattern up there. And I think the S's are the only thing that we have two of. And we're not going to need those little center pieces. Okay. So this is where I'm not always great at this little technique that I'm fixing to show you. And I haven't tried it. I'm going to try it with our new Stampin' Write marker first and see if it works. I usually use a Zig marker for this. Oh, that's not the right one. Well, I guess I'm going to, wait, let me see if I have one of the new ones. I need that new tip. Hold on. I need that new felt tip to do this, because it has to be kind of a felt tip. Okay. And I don't know if this is thick enough to do it, but we're going to try it. So what we try to do is you want to hold this at an angle, and we may want to come in on this a little bit. And what you're going to try to do is just barely hit the edge of that so that it's picking up that black. And then don't do what I just did, where you go onto it. So this is actually not thick enough. I was hoping it would be. So I'm going to bring in my Zig markers, because it has this thicker tip here. And I think even this side is, nope. So it's got this nice big thick tip, and this is actually what works the best, because then you can just kind of go, and it just, because it's so thick, it just hits those tips, or it goes up onto the Designer Series paper. And of course, my Zig writer is almost out of ink, because I needed to show you how to do this tonight. But this, to me, is the quickest and best way to get an edge on your letters. And then it's going to make them pop a little bit. Because you can even see, look at the difference between the C now and the H. The C's popping better, right? Okay, so same thing. We're just going to go down this line. We're going to go across the top. And you do want to take your time, especially if you've never done this before. You want to take your time, or you're going to get totally frustrated, because your pen's going to keep like going onto that Designer Series paper. So just take your time while you're doing this and get these edges on here. So I did this a lot when I was scrapbooking, because it just, again, it makes your letters pop, especially if you're using, like, this is not like a super busy paper, but it is busy enough that when you put the letters back in, they kind of fade back into the design, and you can't see them really well. And so this is the way to get around that. And I apologize that you guys are going to have to watch me draw on every single one of these. But I had a good friend of mine, Elaine Young, and some of you may know her or have known her. But she's the one that really taught me this technique, because I used to go to her scrapbooking retreats, and I used my Cricut a lot for scrapbooking. And I was always typing out titles or cutting out titles, you know, because I needed them a little bit bigger than I could get dies for. And she's the one that taught me this little trick here. So I always think of her when I do this, because she, again, This was one of her techniques. It's, you know, even though I'm a demonstrator and I teach you guys classes, I like watching other demonstrators as well, because I don't know every single technique that's out there, and I don't think there's any demonstrator that does. We all learn from each other, which is great. I'm just so glad that everybody is so willing to share their talents so that we can all learn and grow and learn more fun techniques. But can you guys see how that's making those pop a little bit more? And it's just amazing how just doing this little line around that edge, and probably I could have used my Stampin' Write marker if I wasn't in a hurry, you know, trying to get 4 cards done tonight. If I really took my time, I could have put that edge on there with the Stampin' Write marker. Just so you guys know. So if you do have it, you could use it for this. You just got to be a lot more patient and go slower than I'm going right now. So you want to get that A, the inside of that A. And then we've just got one more S to go. And so I probably haven't had all this in the screen where you can watch it, and I apologize. Let me take you guys back out. Oh, that was wrong way. Okay. Because I'm on my last letter. Whoops. And again, you want to be careful so you don't tear the letters. But the zig markers is what I used a lot for scrapbooking. And again, because I like to journal, a lot of people don't. And they were good for journaling, and then they were good for doing this. All right. Okay. So now I'm going to kind of set this over here. And we've got to do the rest of our die cutting. we aren't done die cutting. And so we're going to be die cutting all of these pieces out. And then I brought in another die set. Guys, I went old school with all of this. So I love, this was called Word Wishes dies. You can't get these anymore. But it has the word Mary in here. And so and remember on this one, I put adhesive strip on the back. And I use that a lot when I'm working with, these little, like, super detailed dies. And so I'm going to need that. And then from our iconic dies, I'm going to need some of these little berries. So I'm going to have to cut a couple of the berries, or cut them, you know, twice. So let's go ahead and get that done. And then we're going to be cutting out these leaves as well. And as you can see, I've got 8 of these to cut out. So my cutting's going to take a while. So maybe some of you guys are still working on those letters, and that's great. So keep working on those. I am going to switch you over to the die cut so you can see me as I'm getting this die cut. And let's see if maybe I can get both of these sheets on here. I think I made this one a little too wide. Oh, nope, it's going to work. Yay! Okay. Oh, and I need these little berries too. And I have plenty of strips now because I used them all on that. On the other one. Okay, so let's get the berries lined up. I think that looks right. And then we're gonna get these leaves lined up. And I apologize that you're having to watch me cut all of this out, but I told you that there was going to be one card that was we're doing a lot more on, and this is it. I promise you the next card is not going to be as doesn't have as many things to cut out. Okay, so we're going to lift that up, and we're going to take that, and let's get our little berry out. And I'm just going to be setting these over on the workspace over there. Of course, you can't see that till we get back over there, but I'm just going to set these over here so I have them all where I know where they are. So we've got to do one more set of berries, so let's get that one taped up and ready to go. And then we're going to need another leaf. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and pull these off of here, but I need some more of those. Oh no, it glued itself to that. I'm going to have to redo my berries, but I'm going to pull that letter out, or the word Mary out, hopefully without tearing it. Okay, come on, we can do this. What's it? It's stuck to something. I can't figure it out. Oh, there it is. Okay, let go. Let go. All right. Okay, I'm going to put that Mary back in that set that it goes to. I'm going to use my, and I know you guys can't see me because you're still looking at the die cut machine, but I'm just popping out those little berries. Okay, so let me bring this back because we need more berries. So we're going to cut a few more berries. I know this moved, so I saw it move. So let me just get this lined up. It may have moved again, but we'll find out. Ouch. All right, let's run this through. And again, you'll notice I'm not taping these over here. And the reason is because I haven't stamped anything. I just need those to die cut out. So it's not as, what the heck? It's not as problematic. I mean, it's not as hard to die cut what we call the standalone dies, because they're not, you don't have to line them up with anything. Okay. So what I was doing over there is that they've got these dies have these little holes in them, and you just poke into the hole, and that's what pops those out pretty easy for you. Also, if it stays in the paper like this, same thing, you can use that take your pick tool and pull that out as well. And so we should have this leaf done. Hopefully these are all cutting out fairly good. I'm gonna lay all these back down because I'm probably cutting more than I need, but I want to make sure that when it's time to put this card together, I'm not missing one and I don't have to go back and redo something. And I'm always really careful to make sure that I put my dies back on the sheet that they came on. I've added magnetic sheets to all of my die sets so that it's easy for me when I'm doing this. I can just lay them over onto that sheet, and I don't have to worry about losing dies. You can still lose them, but less likely if you have some type of magnetic sheet. Now, I know some ladies that have gotten those, they're like magnetic bowls. I don't know how to explain them, but I've seen them. They're magnetic, and maybe they're used for sewing, but like for the pins from sewing. But I know a lot of ladies that have them, and they're kind of cool too, because you could just like set your dies right into those, and then put them back where they go later. But you know, the biggest thing that you're trying to stop from happening is losing any of your dies. Okay, I think we can get 2 more of the berries, and then we're just going to be on the, nope, I didn't cut that one yet. Okay, 2 more of these berries, and then we're going to be sitting here and cutting leaves for a hot second. So does anyone have any questions on anything that I've showed you so far tonight? Like I said, everyone's been pretty darn quiet tonight, so that's been interesting. Y'all are just watching tonight, huh? Oops, and then see, I dropped a die. Okay, I'm just going to lay those over there. Let me get this out. Okay, so that was a lot for that piece. Okay, let's finish getting all of our leaves cut. And then we will be ready to start putting this card together. And you guys are going to love this shadow card. I really like these shadow cards. They're just so much fun. And it just gives a really interesting look to your card. And I know you guys probably can't hear me as well when because I have my head turned away from you when I'm at the die cut machine. And I apologize for that. I'm still working on trying to get, you know, sound all the way around. Let's see if we can do that. And we may not need all of these. I think I may just cut 6. And then if I need more, maybe I'll do 7. Oh, I didn't tape that down. Let's hope it stays. All right, there's that one. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and cut them all out. And I warned you guys at the beginning of this that this would be a long video tonight because, you know, when it is my craft along, it takes a little bit to get through 4 cards. The first 2 I think went pretty quick. Trying to look at time. I'm actually not too bad on time. I thought this was gonna be a lot longer before I saw the end of this one. You know, obviously these go a lot faster when I have everything die cut, and I may start doing that on the craft along, guys, just because for those of you that get the card kits, I mean, even you guys are sitting and watching me at this point because I've already cut all these out for you, and so you're just kind of sitting and. But maybe this was a good potty break for you. But I think I may start getting everything cut out ahead of time and just explain what I did, because if you make that $40 purchase and you get the card kit from me, or if you signed up and got the kit with all the goodies, again, that then you already. Everything's cut out for you. So I apologize that you guys had to sit and watch all of this. Okay, so now here's all of our parts and pieces. And so we're going to start being careful here. And we're going to start putting all of this together. All right. So I'm going to fold that. I'm actually going to move this paper because it has all those die cuts and I don't want to lose them. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to adhere this to the front, and it is the exact same size, okay? But I do want to make sure that it adheres down close to the letters, so I'm making special care to make sure that I'm putting adhesive right next to the letters. Oops, where I can. I think I went over. I saw that I went past the thing here. Okay, and I may have to come in. And this is where, because down here and down here, I can't really get the seal. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to put a little bit of liquid glue. Because again, I need these I need this piece to be down. Okay. So now let's just open this up, and I think I'm going to start from this edge over here, and I am going to line it up so that the top, it's all the way to the edge, and then just real slowly lay that down into place. Okay. And now if you have any edges that went over, that is where you'll want to, I'm going to actually trim that glue right there. Then you'll want to trim that. All right, let's see. Goodness sakes, what is going on? Okay. Okay, so now comes the fun part. And And I say fun sarcastically because again, this is kind of tedious. Now I have found the best way to put the dimensionals is actually to put it on here so that I know I'm getting it in the line. And so I'm wondering if maybe I'm gonna look at this because would be a good time for our foam strips, foam adhesive strips. Just because they're skinnier. I'm just gonna try to see. These might work. So we're gonna work with these. And I'm just gonna be cutting off little pieces. And then I'm just gonna try to be setting these in to where it's not gonna be like sticking out. Does that make sense? You don't want it to stick out of the, where people can see it. And so I'm almost trying to like curve this a little bit right here around that section right there. But I have found that this is the easiest way to do this instead of trying to put it on the back of the letters, because you can kind of make it fit where you need it to fit here. Okay, now the H should be fairly straightforward. So we're just gonna lay that there. And then we're gonna cut one for the other part of the H, the other line there. And I do want one in that center spot. I'm gonna bring in my tweezers, even though my take your pick tool could work fine for this, but I think this is the time for tweezers. Now the R could be a little problematic, only because I don't know where that center opening is, but I'm just going to put a line there and a line right here for the R. And like you said, I'm just pulling off these strips of the foam adhesive and I'm just trimming them down to the size that I need. So let me see that R. I'm a little worried about the R. Yeah, I think these, you know what? This is not going to work. That is actually too big. Okay. So redo. Now that I forgot that this opening is wider than the letters. So, because I haven't pushed these down super hard, they're pretty easy to pull up. So reverse that. I thought this would be an ingenious way to teach you guys how to do this pretty quick, but it's not. Whoops. Okay, so I guess we are. So then now, because those were a little bit too thick, we're actually going to have to go ahead and use like the sides of our mini dimensionals, and we're just going to cut a bunch of little tiny strips. So I'm just cutting a bunch of little tiny strips to put on these letters, and I'm making them really thin. Some may be thicker than others. Okay, so let's work with what we have there. So let's get the C done. Yeah, this is going to work much better. I apologize, guys. Led you down the wrong track. I just thought, you know what? I saw them sitting there and I thought, let me try those. Maybe those would be actually easier. And they turned out not to be. Well, they kind of were, but then when I saw how fat they weren't. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of show you this first one just so you can kind of see what it is that we're trying to accomplish here. And I think what I'm going to do is after I show you how to do a couple of these, then I'm just going to kind of show you my finished card. Now my finished card, I did not outline it, and so it does not look as good as this one is going to look. Okay, so, and then you can see what I'm talking about is it actually fits back into the pattern. Okay, hold on, I can see that. You have to do kind of a lot of trimming with your dimensionals here to get this on. But we're going to do the C. And then let's do the H, because I did cut enough that I think we can get the H on there. And then you guys are going to kind of, you know, you're going to get what it is we're trying to do here. And because this is going to take time, and I don't want you guys to rush through this either. That's why I want to just kind of do 2 of them. And then I'm going to show you my finished card. And just kind of explain what I did with the twigs and stuff so that you can see how that all comes together. Okay, so now I'm just going to pull all of the papers off. Because what time are we? Actually, I'm probably okay because I knew this was going to go a couple of hours tonight because of the difficulty of this particular card. Okay, so are you seeing how those go into place there? And so let's go ahead and do the R, and then I'll just finish, show you the finished product of this one. Well, I'll show you a couple other things really quick, and then I just won't finish all the letters tonight. Because again, I don't want you guys to rush through this process, especially. Okay, where are the ones I cut? Because you won't, you know, I want you to like it. So, this is the one area I don't want you rushing through. See, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this, I'm going to pull this paper off. Oh, you guys can't even see me. Oh my gosh. Well, that's been boring, right? Sorry. Pull that paper off, and then I can turn this so that it kind of makes that turn right there. And then this one's going to go up here, and it's probably going to stick off the edge up there. Nope, perfect. Okay. So I'm going to show you the R, and then I'm going to show you how I did the Mary, and then I'm going to show you one of the leaves, and then you guys can finish this on your own. Okay. Okay, so do you see how by outlining that, it's popping it up and you can see it? I'm going to show you mine, but do you see how I didn't outline it? And the Christmas is almost impossible to see. So I'm going to have to now try to outline this because yeah, you definitely need the outline. Okay, so what we're going to do with the Mary, let me find our pieces, is we are going to take our Mary and we're going to pull off this adhesive strip on the back. And you want to be somewhat careful here. Okay, and then we're going to push this down on here. And then we are going to fussy cut around this. Okay, so now we've got our Mary, and now we're just going to come in and we're just going to do kind of, you know, like I'm not going to get real like close to the Mary. I mean, I'm going to give myself a pretty wide berth here. And I'm not going to go up into where the Y is. I'm just going to go around the outside of this word. Okay. And so, like I said, I'm not being like super detailed as far as like making sure that I'm getting into all the creases and crevices. Okay. So then what you're going to want to do, so you've got that fussy cut and it looks like that. Then we're going to set it on this white piece of paper and we're going to glue this down, and then we're going to fussy cut again because I felt like this needed a couple of borders to match it up. And we did not need this big of a piece. Go figure. All right. And again, we're just going to fussy cut around this. And you can leave as big or as small of a piece as you want. Oh, I just realized I picked up my blue scissors, which usually don't cut this good because they're the ones that have all the glue on them. But look at these babies. They're doing a good job. I'm so proud of them. Oh my gosh, I'm not even in this screen. I'm so sorry, guys. All right, so there we go. So we're fussy cutting. And then this is actually gonna go like right there. Okay, so we're gonna bring our glue back in and we're gonna glue this here. And then just put the Mary there. And then once you get all your letters in, you're gonna be able to see that Christmas really well. And then what I did was down here in this corner, and I'm not gonna do it, but I'm just gonna show you. I kind of built myself like this little, so I put 3 of the leaves together like so. And then I brought in one of those, the little tiny berries, and I stuck that in the middle. And then I brought in one of these and stuck that in there. So that's that corner. So let me show you the rest of the card. And then what I did with the rest of these was I cut them in half and I just kind of put them behind some of the letters again. And I know I've got to get this close so you can see the Christmas, but I put those die cut berries onto the leaves. Now these leaves I cut in half and I used the 3 side of the leaf. Okay. And then on the inside of the card, I used the little the 2 part that came off there, and I used a couple of those and put in the bottom of that. Okay, so that is that card. Now you do have your step-by-step instructions that will walk you through that whole thing. But I mean, I did tell you that this one was going to be a little labor intensive, and it absolutely is. But I love the shadow look, so for me, it's totally worth doing all that work for it. So I'm going to bring in one of my little tidy trays, and I'm going to put all my little pieces here so that I can get the next card done for you, and then you will be able to see all 4 cards. All right, so let me put that to the side, and then I'll finish this card later. So I hopefully that helped. If you guys have any questions, if that didn't make sense, then just reach out to me. You can type in the questions now if you have questions about anything I just showed you, and then I can answer those questions now and get that out of the way. Okay, so we are on our last card. And so let me tell you what was in this kit. This one has a lot of pieces, but they go together pretty quick. Okay, so you should have had a thick basic white cardstock. And then you should have a mossy meadow that is like, I think 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then you have a white that's 4 by 5 1/4. And then you should have all of these designer series paper that has a matching cherry cobbler mat. So you should have 3 of the designer series paper with those mats. And then you should have a little strip here. And then you should have this white strip here. Okay, let's get busy on this card. Okay, so for this card, and again, I'm trying to follow my instructions. I'm trying to be good, ladies. Okay, we're going to do our stamping first. And so we are going to be stamping 3 of the detailed trees. Okay, so we've got these 2 little trees that are part of the yeah, if I could talk tonight, that are part of the Iconic Imagery stamp set. And so what we're going to do is, again, we're doing the detailed, and it's going to be the darker color. Going to put these fairly close to each other because I know I need some sentiments cut out, sentiment labels. So then we're going to do the same thing, guys. We're stamping off, and then we are coming in and we're just folding that down so that that color gets on, the lighter color gets on the tree. Okay, so we're going to do that one more time. Okay, so that gives us 3 trees. Done. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and, I think I have said to go ahead and stamp the sentiments, and we might be able to do that. Let me see. So the first thing I have to do is, we're doing the season 4. So remember that 4 that was on the other stamp set? Well, now I need to bring it in here and I need to add it. Well, I want to test this. And see if I have it straight. So I'm going to go, whoops, I can tell that's not straight just looking at it there. Okay. So I'm just going to come in with some Mossy Meadow ink, and we're going to ink that up, and I'm going to stamp off on my scrap paper first and see if I have that to where it's straight. Whoops, well, if I could have stamped the whole thing, I could have seen it better. Sorry, got to pick it up and look at it. So see, I don't know if that was just me stamping badly. If I angled that or if I have that angled. So let me look at, I'm going to clean this off. And then I'm going to take a little look here. Look, see. We're just going to go for it. Okay, so you're going to put these two together. Again, you guys have way more time at home to make sure that this is done really well. I'm trying to get, oh gosh, what did happen there? I got that way too inked up. You know what? I forgot. I just re-inked that thing. Ugh. There's good and bad about re-inking your ink pads. Okay, I have to not, I've got to be very careful. So I just have to barely touch it. Okay, so we are going to put this about right there. And then the other one that I need is the word peace. So let me grab that. All right, I'm just going to put that on one of these. Oh, if I can find my stamp set, where's it at? Here it is. I thought I had already pulled the piece out, but I realized I didn't have it on a block. So we're just going to stick it on this block, ink it up, and stamp it down here. Okay, there we go. So we're going to clean that off, and let's see, let me make sure I've got all my stamping done. Oh, we need to put one of our trees that we did in this bottom corner down here, so let's do that. So again, we're going to do the detailed first, and it's going to be dark. Then we're going to come in and stamp off with that second one, second generation stamping, and go over the top of that. So you've got a cute little tree right down there in the corner. So let's clean these, and then we should, oh, then we're using that Trekking Along, because I really loved that Wishing You a Merry Christmas. So we're going to use that again. Let me find it. It's this one. And again, the reason that I'm using so many different sets tonight, guys, is because I want you to feel free to rummage through what you have. You may have some of your favorite Christmas sayings in the, you know, a favorite font that you like, and so use them. Okay, wishing you a festive Christmas. Okay, so we've got that done. And yep, okay. The die cutting is going to go really fast for this, and then we're going to be ready to put this card together. So, I knew that one card was going to take forever. Okay, so we're going to take this, and we're going to go over to the die cut machine. And we are going to cut, let's bring the dies. I'm going to bring the dies right here. So this die right here cuts out a bunch of little stars. And I am going to tape that in place just because I don't want that to move. And then this is going to be the sentiment for this one. And again, I'm going to bring in some of that tape so that it doesn't move once I get it centered the way that I want it. And then we have one other little die. I love the little label dies in this set. They're super cute. And then we've got, I think we just have one tree. So the trees we're going to have to run through 3 times. But bear with me. We're almost there. We're almost there. Okay. So here we go. And that's going to run through. All right. So we're going to run that through, and we're going to get almost everything cut out that we need, except for 2 more trees. So let's pull this tree and set it over on our desk. And then let's pull our sentiments. Don't you love these? Wait till you see these little labels. They're so stinking cute. I just love them. But they're stitched. Well, you guys know I like anything stitched, right? That's me. It's that, I mean, I am a sucker for a stitched die every single time because I just love the look of them. Okay, so this cut, look at all these little baby stars. So cute. Gonna stick those over here. So let me just kind of scrape these off so I can pick them up. These little stars are so, you know, these stars would be cute. You could cut out a bunch of these and they would be good inside of a shaker card as well. That looks like it's not quite lined up right. All right, let's push this through. One more, and then we are ready to put this card together. Yeah, I think next time I'm not going to do all the cutting since you guys basically get the kits already cut. That will save a lot of time with our filming. But I mean, I did want to show that whole Christmas one on the one, just so that you understood how I got it lined up and what I did for that one. But you guys, it was already cut for you, so next time I'll just tell you what I did, because again, most of you guys have the kit and it's already cut for you. Okay, so now we are ready. I just don't want to lose my little things here and my little trees. Okay, so now we're ready to put the card together. So I think I'm going to go ahead and get this inside done. And so we're going to just go ahead and this basic white piece here is going to be attached to the Mossy Meadow mat. Maybe, if I can get it. just like so. And then I'm going to take just a little dab of glue. I mean, itty bit, like not much, guys, don't put a ton here. And the reason being is that, oh, now I need my take your pick tool. Where the heck is it? Okay, that's fine. I'll use the tweezers. Because you don't want glue pushing out from behind this little star, because then it'll glue your card shut, which is what exactly just happened. So if that happens, let it dry and then come in with a little bit of powder, like baby powder. I keep it in little jars like this. And so I can put like a little bit on my hand and I can actually just wipe that. And the baby powder takes the sticky away. Oh shoot, guys, I'm not even back where I'm supposed to be. This is a night. Okay, so all I did was I matted this on here, and then I added that little star to that tree that we stamped. Okay. See, usually I have you guys telling me, hey, you're still over on the die cut machine. So let's go ahead and get this on the inside. Then we're going to put the front of this together. It, like I said, it goes together super fast. That's what happens when you use a lot of designer series paper to help design your cards. It really helps for your cards to go together pretty quick. All right, so there's that. Okay, so now we're going to work on the front. So what we're going to do is we need to basically put all of this designer series paper onto their mats. So we're going to start with the one with the trees. It's going to go on its mat. And then it's going to go on the card front on the left kind of top section. So I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Okay. So it's going to be, I think I have it about maybe 1/4 of an inch off that top edge and off the left edge, just like so. Okay, next we're going to do the 2 cherry cobbler. So we're going to do the cherry cobbler with the leaves onto the cherry cobbler mat. And this is going to go on here like so. And then it's going to overlap the trees, but we want to try to leave about the same width that's on this side, and then kind of centered top to bottom. So that's going to lay down like so. Okay, then we have this piece, and we're going to put mount that on its, but this one's a little trickier because this one is going to have some ribbon on it, and you want to put this ribbon on first. Even though we're cutting it right on the edge. So what I wanted is along this bottom line, I'm going to bring in some tear and tape, because I wanted these trees to look like they were on snow. So just work with me here. Just work with me. So here's this. What did I do with my take your pick tool? Oh, there it is. Okay, so I'm going to pull this up. And then I'm going to bring in some of that frayed white ribbon. And we're going to go right to the edge. Don't stick yet. Just along that bottom edge. And then we're going to trim it right there. And then I probably should have left a little bit more so that this wouldn't be quite so frayed. But there you go. Just like that. And now this is going to go on to the card front. We are almost done, guys. Oh gosh. Okay. And so it's going to be even with this left side, and we want it maybe like a 1/2 inch there. You leave like a little 1/2 inch right there. I just want to make sure that's straight. Okay, then we're going to come in with our trees, and we're going to pop these up. Just going to use 2 little mini dimensionals on each of these little trees. Oops, come on, come on. Okay, so we're going to take that out. Now I'm actually going to start with my center tree. I'm going to get him centered. And you see how I'm kind of putting it, the stem or the trunk down there into the ribbon, because again I'm trying to get the illusion that it's standing in snow. We're using the ribbon to emulate the snow. So if you guys are popping up, I'm not seeing any of the questions and stuff, and I apologize if you guys have been making comments. I'm not ignoring you, I'm just not seeing anything. And this is kind of a new, Facebook's been kind of a pain in the butt lately about this. So I don't know if it's a Facebook thing, but I'm not seeing anything on the YouTube side either. So I'm gonna just put those little dots, and then this is what I was gonna do last time, is just use my putty side, and then stick my little star. Now when you use the putty, you do have to kind of make sure you pull that off the putty a little bit. Like I'm using my fingernail to make the putty let go of the star. Okay, so we've got our little stars. Aren't they cute? They're so cute. Okay, and then I'm just going to come in with the Season of Peace, and I'm going to take this, and it's basically going to go right here on this top section. Now I did put some liquid glue back there, and then realized I forgot I had actually put a dimensional behind this. So because I didn't do that properly, I'm going to lift that up, and I'm going to just drop 2 dimensionals right there so that it holds this left side. Basically it makes it level. And then we're going to do the piece. And it's going to go right here. And then you can see on my A, see how I got it, like there's some green on the inside of that. A little bit later, I will probably come in. Let me see if I can do it really quick right now. I just don't want to take up any more of your guys' time. And I'm just going to come in with like a white gel pen and dot that A so that it gets rid of that. Okay, so there's our last card. Isn't that cute? A Season for Peace, and it's got our little Christmas trees. Now you guys could add Wink of Stella to this to make the trees shine a little bit, and then wishing you a festive Christmas. Oh guys, that was a long one, right? Sorry. So let me bring in all of the cards, even though the one's not quite finished. This is the one without the writing on it. I do want to remind you what it looks like when you highlight the letters, it looks much better. But anyway, guys, here's the cards that we did tonight. And this was, again, using the Iconic Celebration Suite. Oh, hey, Deb, thanks. And then, again, this is the bundle that was in part of that. So I appreciate if you guys were here. I'm sorry if you guys were making comments and I didn't see them. Again, I ran a little bit over because of this particular card. Again, ignore how that looks. It's supposed to look like that. You should be able to see the Christmas. But I took some time to explain how to do that for you guys. So anyway, guys, as usual, I'm always so grateful when you get on here with me. And I appreciate you guys. And if you have any questions, let me know. Again, if you want the card kits for this, all you've got to do is place a $40 order with me at some point tonight, or not tonight, this month, and then you'll get the card kits with the PDF instructions. It's too late to buy the kit that comes with the goodie bag, but again, remember, I've got, I'm just going to show you really quick. This is the one that we'll be doing. This is the craft along. So if you want all the goodies with this one, you need to click on that QR code and get signed up for that class. And then my class to go, which gets sent to you, which you can go on and do the video on your own. Again, you get the PDFs, you get the video link, and no one else does these cards except for the people who sign up for the class, because they're the only ones that get the PDF instructions for that. But both of those will be happening. Remember, today, still free shipping, and we have one more week to earn that. Spend $50 and get the $5 coupon for next month. Okay? So, yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much, and sorry that this was like 2 hours. Oh my gosh, I knew this one card was going to be crazy. So anyway, for those of you that hung out the whole time, thank you so much. For those of you that are going to pop back in, I understand, and hopefully you'll be able to see how I did all of these cards. But thank you guys for crafting along with me, and everybody have a great week. For those of you that are coming to my Paper Pumpkin class tomorrow, remember, bring some sentiment stamp sets if you want to change the sentiments up a little bit. So I'll see some of you tomorrow.